Well, hello. Thank you for joining us again on Valuable and Vibrant Talks podcast. I'm your host, Carnisha, and I am back with another episode. This is International Women's Month, and International Women's Day was just a few days ago, and I've really been thinking a lot about the impact that different women have had in my life, and I hope to have some special guests for you coming up very soon. But more importantly, I've just taken some time to reflect on the woman that I've become and all of the work that I've tried to do to bring myself into a really healthy place mentally, emotionally. So I'm going to share 20 lessons that I have learned. Now, I remember as a young girl, I had a really close relationship with my dad, and what he would always say is to remain teachable. Remain teachable because you don't know what you don't know. And for me, that was an important thing that I had to recall as I began to mature and learn and grow. Because a lot of times we get to the place to where we feel like we are just, we have reached our ultimate level of knowledge and understanding and experience. But what I have found, as the more I stay open, the more I stay teachable, and the more I stay in tune with what my life experience is, then I'm able to truly be a great steward of those experiences that I believe God is affording me. And so I have 20 lessons that I like to share, some things that I've learned, some things that I've experienced, and I hope they will impact you just as they've impacted me. Now, also, some of these lessons, hey, I'm human, and like many of us, we don't get the lesson the first time. So some of these lessons some of them had to whoop me upside my head until I got it. But I'm glad to say that if I mention it here, I finally got it. I finally got it. So here we go. Lesson number 1, and these are no order of importance, just things that I've, recalled and brought back to my remembrance. So, lesson number 1. So, lesson number 1, be fully present. Be fully present. You know, if you're really going to get the most out of life and you're really going to get the most out of your experiences, it's so important to be fully present and in the moment. Try not to live your life living through your computer screen, your phone screen. When was the last time? Just think about, when was the last time you went to the park and just sat in the grass and watched people or watched your child play? So many of us, and myself, I've done it, is just multitasking, working, and we miss so many of the beautiful moments that life is trying to use to teach us. So I want to encourage us, be fully present. Number 2, in relationships, mutual accountability is a major key in relationships. If a person will not be accountable to you and with you, then they are likely to become reckless, because people who do not have accountability, and Oprah said this, people who do not have accountability, you should be very afraid of people who are not accountable to anyone. This is the words of Miss Oprah Winfrey. Mutual accountability is so important. You want to be in relationship with people, and this is not just for romantic relationships. You want your friends, your close circle to be able to give feedback, go back and forth and have honest dialogue about the things that you are going through. So mutual accountability in our relationships is a must. Number 3, people are watching how you handle your struggles, so handle them gracefully. Handle them gracefully. There are few things that are greater than being able to rise above your difficulties and handle them like a mature adult. People are watching you. There's a meme that is going around that says something to the effect of you're impacting people that act like you don't even exist. And that just goes to say it's kind of a little petty on it. That post has a little petty on it. But what I think the message is that there will be people that you don't know are watching you that are watching you. We know our kids are watching, we know our spouse are watching, we know our mentees are watching, but there are people that you are impacting their life in ways that you will never know. You might not ever know. And so just be careful of how you handle your struggles and how you handle your ups and downs. I'm not saying you have to fake and front all through your life, but what I am saying is if you have gone through something and there's a lesson, share that lesson. It might not be right at that moment, but please, at some point, share the lesson because you are an example to some, and they're going to come out better because of how you handle what you've gone through. Number 4, set your priorities in order. For me, God first, then me and mine, and then others. Many times because we are so goal oriented and so focused on, the next level and breakthrough and all of these different things, a lot of times our priorities get out of whack and out of order. But for me, I have to keep God first. Because why? Because that is my anchor. That is my center. That is where I receive all of my life's instructions. And so I've got to keep God first. Then me and my family, my children, my husband, all of those people that I feed and they feed me. Like we run off of each other's energy. So I have to keep them a priority, and then others. And it's no different than they talk about on the airplane. I know you've heard the example of be sure and put your mask on first, and then you help the person next to you. Because guess what? If you don't have your oxygen, how can you be good for the person that is around you? Okay, so number five. I have to be honest. This lesson was a really hard one to learn because I'm pretty sensitive. The people that are important to me are really important to me, and so I always kind of do things and hope for feedback. And feedback doesn't always have to be good, but I do care that they're interested in what I have going on as I try to do the same thing with them. So this was a hard lesson for me. But number 5, so pay attention to those who don't clap when you win. I know you've heard that before. If there are people that are close to you that cannot or will not celebrate even your smallest victories, you may want to evaluate those relationships. And for the longest, I kind of rejected the notion of like people being jealous and not being happy for you, but it's a real thing, and it's tough to really embrace and understand that, because it's a sad reality, but it's true. Number 6. This is the only body you'll ever have, so take good care of it. We all know this. With the emergence of COVID, I think and with the headlines stating that Black and brown communities are disproportionately affected by COVID, just paying attention to our health has taken a whole nother spin. So we know this. Drink your water, exercise, eat right. We know this. So take care of your body. We only get one. Number 6, there is power in letting go. There is power in letting go. Holding on to things beyond their expiration date can be tragic. Think about milk beyond its expiration date. Nobody wants to deal with milk beyond its expiration date. It will make you sick. And that is the same thing that will happen if we hold on to connections, relationships, alliances that are beyond their time, beyond their season in our life. So there's power in letting go. Let go of the weight. Let go of that unhealthy association. Let go. It's fine to love people from a distance. Number 8, raise the bar for yourself. Raise the bar for yourself. People will continue to give you the bare minimum if that's all you require. Number 8, raise the bar. People will continue to give you the bare minimum if that's all you require. Number 9, do your best to take nothing personal. Most of the time when people are acting out towards us, they are projecting something personal that they are going through. It usually has nothing to do with us. So try not to take things personal. And as former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama says, when they go low, you go high. That's a lesson I had to learn. Number 10, by all means, be yourself. Be yourself. The world needs to experience you. The world doesn't need another copy of Miss So-and-so over here or Mr. Such and such over here. The world needs you. The world needs who you are, your uniqueness, your individuality. So be yourself and be your best self. That's a lesson I had to learn. Number 11. Social media can be great, but it also can be a huge distraction. Govern yourself accordingly. Find out if you have, there are apps now all in our phone. You can go in and see how much time you're actually spending on each individual app. So find out if social media is a distraction for you, and then govern yourself accordingly. Resist the urge to display a fake life that'll get you more likes, more attention, more shares, blah, blah, blah. All of it is temporal. So just try to live your best life, your best authentic life, even on social media. Present your true and honest self. Number 12. Sometimes you have to get off the grid and work on yourself. Man, this was a lesson that I had to learn after I got divorced, and I had to literally deactivate all of my accounts and work on myself. I had a level of pain, bitterness, shame, all of these things that I was working through, and I found that I couldn't work on it and be my best self on social media because it was all these bitter memes I had saved up in my phone, things that I wanted to share that I knew that wouldn't be beneficial to the woman that I was trying to become. So I had to shut everything down, get off the grid, and work on me. All right, next, 13. Do not, under any circumstances, tolerate insecurity in yourself. Don't tolerate insecurity in yourself. This, again, is something that I dealt with heavily because of the way that one of my major relationships ended. I was left with my self-esteem and my self-worth was just like on zero. Like it was non-existent. I felt less than. I felt less than as a woman. And I had to take that time to rebuild, but I had to reject the notion of insecurity in myself, that I'm worth more, that I'm specifically, fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and that I was enough. So don't tolerate insecurity in yourself. No matter how a person treated you, is currently treating you, do not tolerate insecurity. Number 14. People will always make time for what's important to them. So take note, remember that, and act accordingly. People will make time for what's important. Never chase, never beg, don't do any of that. Just watch people's actions. Number 15, Love is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Learn what it really is. If you're a believer, we have a specific line by line guidebook in 1 Corinthians 13 4 and 8. It gives us a great example, a great step by step of what love is. So find out what it is, what it truly is, and then give it freely. Give it freely. Number 16. Most people you encounter have good intentions, y'all. Most people really do have good intentions. So allow yourself to be open and vulnerable. Use your discernment, but be open and vulnerable to new friends, new experiences, new lessons, and enjoy your life. You can't live a great, full, fulfilled life behind this wall. So open up, be free to learn and experience, and I promise you it'll be one of the best things that you could ever do. Number 17. Unfortunately, we live in a reality TV, love and hip hop, basketball wives type culture. And I'm not saying anything bad against those shows, but the bottom line is that people love a good messy situation until it's their situation. So be careful of how you take interest and repeat other people's difficult situations, because at the next turn it could be you. Stay above the drama. There is not a penny worth inserting yourself in some drama and some mess. Again, when they go low, we go high, always. Number 18. A coward will always throw a rock and then hide their hand. You have to learn, I had to learn that some of these people that were making disparaging comments about me, people that were, dragging my name through the mud, that's a coward. A person that won't come to you, that will discuss you all day long but will never come to you, that's a coward, and that's not somebody that you want to be linked up with. So remember that a coward will always throw the rock and then hide their hand. Number 19. Pain turns a woman into a warrior. Pain turns a woman into a warrior. I tell you, when I came out of what I came out of, I had so much more strength. I was more fortified. I was stronger. I was more dependable. I was more outgoing, outspoken. And I believe that God used even my lowest moments, even my lowest times, to shape me into a warrior of a woman. And he knew that I could handle it. He knew what my frame was. And he said, you know what? I'm going to allow her to go through this because I know she can handle it. So always let your troubles work for you. Don't let your troubles take you out and cause you to drown, but allow your troubles to work for you. And then the last one, I know this seems like such a cliche, but I just want to share that number 20 is you have to follow your dreams. You have to follow your dreams. There are things in this life that only you can do. There are things in this life that only you can do, and nobody else can do it like you can do it, and nobody else will reach or impact other people the way you will when you do what you were called to do. So I want to encourage you, the last one, follow your dreams. Really take some time and think about what it is that you were put on this earth for. Rick Warren wrote a book years ago called The Purpose-Driven Life, and there is just so much wisdom in that book. And for me, I just love the first page, the first line. It says, what on earth am I here for? Find that out. Find out what you're here for, and then begin to put the plan in action on how you're going to really carry out what you are here for. So look, I've learned so many more lessons, but these are just 20 things that I wanted to share. things that have impacted me, and I believe have made me a better person. And I've been able to overcome a lot of things that I never thought I would make it to the other side of it. But when I look back, these are the lessons that I have been most influential and some of the most poignant lessons that I've learned in my life. And so I just wanted to share them with you. As always, thank you for joining us on the Valuable and Vibrant Talk podcast, and we'll see you next time. Please remember to like, share. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating so that we can continue to bring you great content. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you next time.